Hi, I'm Rolf Perelius with Shooter's Paradise. Let's talk about shooting on the move. We see experts who tell us one thing and other experts that tell us the opposite. What's a guy to believe? Shooting on the move, is that something I should be worried about? Is it important to me? If you're concerned about self-defense and you're the average concealed carrier, I would say this is a skill that is way down the list of importance. We don't teach much of that here. We don't focus on that. We try to focus on things that are more important to the average concealed carrier, such as de-escalation. Yeah, being able to identify a threat, understanding what the warning signs are. That is far more important than the ability to shoot and move at the same time. So what are we talking about, moving and shooting? If I was involved in a self-defense situation, I might have to draw my firearm and shoot. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm standing still and shooting. If I need to move, it's because bullets are coming at me and I'm in danger of dying right away. So, two separate things there. Shooting and moving would involve getting the gun out, trying to aim it at the same time that I moved. And oftentimes, you will see when this is done that people bend down a little bit in order to be able to walk more levelly as they move. So, how beneficial is that to me? Let's look at it from a critical perspective there. If I'm taking fire, rounds are coming at me, I want to get out of there and get behind cover as quickly as I can. And quite frankly, I really don't care about shooting while I'm trying to get behind cover. So for Rolf, it becomes an issue of, do I move or do I shoot? This is similar to driving a car and defending yourself. I have two choices when it comes to defending myself in a car situation. Either I draw the gun and I shoot, or I drive. I don't try to do both at once. That's two very complex things that I can't do well together. Now, you can develop the skill of shooting and moving very well. This can be something that is done well. You may have seen the video of the guy on the treadmill at the range who's knocking down plates and is just really good. You can build this skill. It's absolutely doable. Where should you be investing your training time? That's the question that I look at here. And I think you would be far better off to invest your training time in learning de-escalation tactics, in learning the proper use of pepper spray. There's a whole realm of things here that I think you'd be far better off learning than developing the skill of moving and shooting at the same time. So let's look at it. We have a previous video where we looked at things from a 3-point perspective when we considered tactics and how we wanted to apply our shooting skill in a self-defense situation. The first one was, will it keep me alive? The second one was, does it fit into my moral and ethical code? And the third one is it legal? So looking at the shooting and moving skill from that perspective, will it keep me alive? I don't think it scores well on this one. You see, if I'm stationary and I'm shooting, I'm very likely to get good hits because I've got the optimum platform to launch rounds from. I'm going to be able to hold the gun more still. I'll be able to focus better on my sights. I'm going to be able to do the skill of shooting better if I'm stationary than if I'm moving. And I think this is true even for those people who are highly talented at moving and shooting. I think you'll find they're even more talented at stationary shooting. So it's not going to increase my shooting skill for sure. The next aspect of it is, in the will it keep me alive category, is I have to move slower to shoot and move at the same time. Yeah. Why am I moving in the first place? I'm moving in the first place because I'm taking incoming rounds. That's the only reason I've been moving, because moving complicates the shooting. So if I'm not taking incoming rounds and I can deal with the situation from the shooting, I'm just going to stay put and shoot. If I have to move, it's because I'm in danger. So moving slowly while I'm in danger as opposed to moving as fast as I can while I'm in danger, that's a very important thing to consider. I'm less likely to die the less time I spend in the danger zone. And if I move slowly so I can shoot and move at the same time, I'm more likely to die. So I don't think it scores well on will this skill keep me alive. I think it makes me dangle out there like a fish, like a worm on a hook for a fish. It makes me dangle out there in the danger zone longer. I would rather approach it from the perspective of either shoot or move. And it's perfectly acceptable and very good to shoot, move, so I can shoot, I can move, I can stop, and I can shoot again. I think that's a very effective approach toward this issue. But shooting while I'm moving requires that I slow down my motion to cover quite a bit. And that really concerns me on a does it keep me alive evaluation. The second one, does it fit into my moral and ethical code that I have for myself? And I would say that it may not for me, because I'm inherently going to be less accurate with my shooting. Now, if I've built a level of skill so that I can absolutely keep my shots where they need to be while I move, then this is not an issue. But for me, not having practiced this skill to that level, and for others who have never done this skill, I think it becomes a serious moral and ethical code issue, because we may miss. And if we miss, where are our rounds going? I'm responsible for every round I fire. There's an attorney attached to every bullet you fire. We hear all this stuff. So I need to think about this ethically, morally. How would I handle missing my target and shooting a 5-year-old? That would be a real problem for me. So it doesn't score well on that evaluation until I've developed a level of skill that allows me to keep all my rounds on target. Quite frankly, I'm not there. I would doubt that you would be there either. And then the third evaluation is it legal? Well, there's no law out there that says you can't shoot and move at the same time, right? We don't see that, and that's often the case. The is it legal question, it leaves a lot to be desired because of this. We need to consider the is it legal from a perspective of will we have trouble with the legal system if we do this, and how could we have trouble, and how might this affect the legal aftermath. So is it legal? There's no law against moving and shooting, at least none that I've ever heard of. So where can we run into trouble here? We can run into trouble here with missing our target and then being responsible for injury we caused others. If I wildly shoot as I move to cover, I will be responsible. That is not going to be considered a responsible behavior in any stretch of the imagination. So that then can cause me legal issues with moving and shooting. So this doesn't score well for me on my 3-part test. Will it keep me alive? Does it fit into my moral and ethical code? And is it legal? It doesn't fit well. I think the biggest issue for me is I weight these 3 things in order of importance for myself. Number 1, will it keep me alive? I think it's going to have a negative impact on that. Other people may have some other ideas, and you may in fact look at it differently from that 3-point perspective. You may weight it differently. You may place different values on different aspects of this. An argument absolutely can be made of cover fire. And by shooting back as I move, I am providing some cover fire for myself so that they put their heads down. But I don't know that for me, that's not a valid argument, because I don't think that's something we can count on. So anyway, I wanted to look at moving and shooting. I strongly recommend, while it's a very valuable technique to have in your back pocket, I would mention that it takes a lot of practice to get there, and I think you're far better off putting that time and that energy and that money into training, understanding your personal risk profile, being able to identify threats, knowing what to look for, understanding that these are like the normal, abnormal, dangerous paradigm that Mark McGowan uses, understanding that, how that's applied, putting your time, effort, and energy and money in training to understand how to handle yourself in these situations. Craig Douglas is managing unknown contacts coursework. That's very, very valuable here. It's a lot of money to get, and you have to travel, you have to pay the fees, you have to take time off of work. I get all that. That's where I think you need to put your money. I don't think you need to put your time, energy, and money into practicing moving and shooting. I think what you need to do is practice avoiding shooting in the first place. Understanding the law, critically important. All right, so maybe this is beneficial to you. I hope it is. If you have comments or anything, we'd love to hear from you, love to talk more about this. Look at these tactical issues from a 3-question standpoint. First one, will it keep me alive? Second one, does it match my moral and ethical code? And third one, is it legal? And remember, that's never a yes or no answer. That's always looking at the complexities of the legal system. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.